No,
Am I late?
I'm in.
No,
No,
it's
we just
Oh,
finished.
okay. I just got off from work. I was kind of in a hurry.
I went
yeah.
into the wrong one. That's why. Okay. Another Alex did really well last semester, Grant.
Oh.
Alex, I was just looking at your grades and seeing how you're doing. So, looks like you're doing great.
All right. That's awesome. I'm really enjoying this class. I really am.
Good. I'm glad. Well, it looks like you're right here. You're going to get extra credit for showing up,
Oh,
which is great.
okay.
And I actually had an extra credit idea too, Grant, that I'll pitch you at the end, where they could earn an easy, I don't know, 15 points. Um, so uh,
I'm
you want to do it right now? Actually, can I just say it so I remember it? No,
yeah,
people just don't. Yeah,
and I am going. I'm right now as you're talking. I'm going to the grades to give Alex extra
Alex,
for for
how much
being.
extra credit are you giving Alex for this? Okay, well,
I'm
Grant, I'm
not
going
going
to
to say it
pitch you. How
on
about
record.
Okay, well, that's good. Anybody who's watching this, so the benefit of doing the review is we pretty much go over every single question that's going to be on the exam. And the people who watch this end up doing really well on the exam. So we recommend watching this. If you're just tuning in for the first thing, Alex got extra credit, but here's an extra credit opportunity too. Maybe you didn't do so well on your exam. Um, Grant, I think that every one of our students should know that we run Gav TV News, which is the local or the Gavlin College news YouTube account. And I think I'll do an announcement that puts the link out there. And I think that any one of our students who likes, subscribes, and leaves a comment, and make sure you comment that you're in Theater 16, and the video
MCTV
is great.
16.
Yeah, MCTV 16, and that you think the video is great, you'll get some extra credit. How's that sound? So pick one, two, maybe watch all our videos that are on our. We'll send you the link. Watch one, at least like and subscribe and leave a comment, and you'll earn yourself how much extra credit, Grant?
Let's say 10 points for every video they watched that we this semester.
So if they leave a comment on every video, we did like 10 videos. That's 100 extra credit, Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Wow. Hey, Alex, I know what you should be doing right now. No, actually, Alex got a really good grade. He probably doesn't need it, but the more extra credit, the less
Hey, I'll
you
still
have to
do
pay.
it.
Yeah, please watch all
I
our
told you,
video.
I really like the class. It's my first semester back in college after a while, and I'll
Yeah,
be
that's
honest with you,
awesome.
picking this class was really good decision because I had a lot of fun, especially during the PSA. That was
Yeah, that's
hilarious. Like
well,
my
well,
yeah.
well, Alex. Just a question: are you local? Like, have you take any classes on campus or in person?
So I live in San Batista. So
Okay.
I guess I'm kind of local. Um, I used to go to college in Texas, then I kind of had to quit because tuition was insane.
Well, I
Um,
understand.
I'm working full time, so everything I can do online, I do online. Um, but
Totally
I
makes
haven't been
sense.
to campus yet.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Alex, I'm going to pitch you. If you liked this class, you would
Okay.
love our class next semester, which is an in person. We'll probably say this at the end, tell you all our classes that we're doing for everyone who's reviewing. But a class that I think is manageable, it is on campus on Fridays, but if you can attend, you can view behind the scenes. We do a lot of filming, it's our film production class. And that
Okay.
one is our motion picture production, which is MCTV 25, Humanities 25. Uh, it's it's only on Fridays. And if you're
Actually, Tim,
unavailable,
the schedule's changed. So
ooh,
it's
oh, that's
now
right, I forgot. Yep.
Thursdays for the lecture
Yep.
and the labs on Fridays. Essentially, we make movies. So we're going to take a concept every week and teach it. And then Fridays are going to be devoted to purely practical filmmaking. We make movies. I'll tell you, for example, last Friday, we shot the shower scene, famous shower scene from Psycho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we could show you at the end of this video if you wanted. Um, but then next, or actually in 2 days from now, Tim's starring in one of the yeah. There's his act.
No, I'm a mean dad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So Marty, one of our students, is wrote and is directing a film, and we're shooting it at my house. We shoot on location a lot. We do have a TV studio and have sets and can build. We can shoot on campus, but we often will shoot on location. So that this is a movie production class and it's fun. The nice thing about it is that it's taught in dual modality. So you can do everything online. So if you have a job and it conflicts, or you don't have transportation or whatever, you can do everything online, but it is also a face-to-face class. And so,
and I think you get a lot more if you're able to at least attend one. If you are at all interested in film production or how short videos are made or content creation, just coming and being on an actual working set and then being able to see the videos. Next semester is a great semester too, because we have on May 4th our Gavin Student Film Showcase, which is where we view and give out awards to the best student films, and you get extra credit for coming to that as well. So Alex, especially with next semester being free tuition for all, great chance to sign up and take one of our many other classes. Also, I would say that if you're at all interested in the movie making process and you just want a solely online class, we offer video editing and screenwriting next semester as well, which is
honestly, it sounds really awesome because I'm majoring in economics, but I actually wanted to be a screenwriting major when I was
oh wow
19 or 20. So I would love to. I'm working in Gilroy right now. I'm in the middle of a job transition within the same company, but they're gonna send me to work to Santa Cruz. So
yeah.
going to Gilroy after work is probably gonna be unlikely, but um, yeah, I'll keep that in mind because I really enjoy the
When you're
class. So,
yeah
yeah,
when you're signing up and you have some electives or you want to take some stuff just for enrichment, you can take up to 18 classes for free, or
yeah.
18 units for free. So take advantage of as many film. If you like this class, you'll love our other ones, because
Okay.
we always say this is the intro class. This is the one that we like really dip our toe into the fun stuff, and
If you
everything
can send me
else.
some material, I'll definitely look into it because I would love to do something like that. I've always loved the movie industry. I always like filming, editing, and yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be a film major just
Well,
because I know it's
yeah,
because I already started a career in something else and I'm pretty happy with it.
I
But
totally
I
understand that, but let me tell you one thing. You don't have to go, make us your major, but there is enrichment and there is benefit to any other job that we teach you, like how to properly set up a camera, how to make content, how to make something engaging, and
oh, I
really
agree.
that's applicable to any job, because we're in a place of social media and an era of social media and content creation, and every single job, video, uh, even shooting on your phone, and doing some basic editing, that's going to improve your business if you own your own business.
Right.
Econ major, okay, so I don't know what you do for your job, but
I'm an investment advisor for
wow.
okay. So I have a friend who's an investment advisor with Stanley Morgan, I think. Is that one?
Morgan Stanley. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'm dyslexic. Um, uh, and we filmed some videos for him, and he basically runs his own little shop out of Palm Springs, and he shoots video every day of him talking about some investment advice. So it's just a good way to continue to draw clients or
Yeah.
engagement, which is, in a job like that, you definitely need always to be finding clients, right?
Oh, way down the line, I'd like to have my own firm because right now everything we do when it comes to soliciting clients has to go through our compliance department, and they're the most non-fun people that you will
Yeah,
ever meet.
sure. And my friend, he definitely has to go through the compliance department, but he has figured it out to do his own little thing. So good. Yeah. Well, maybe we could talk more afterwards. I think the
Yeah,
people who are watching probably want us to get started. So welcome everyone. As a reminder, this is the review for the final for MCTV 16. I also want to use this opportunity to remind you all that until the grades are locked, you can submit your work. So if you feel like you're way far behind, or you failed the final and you lost points, you can even go, and a lot of people in here wrote replies but didn't write comments on other people's work. You can go in and then add the comments that you forgot to do if you want to earn those extra points back. Uh, uh, and just make sure you message me or Grant so that we're aware. When you go back and change your assignment, it doesn't alert us that something has been changed unless you let us know. But if it hasn't been graded yet, we're in the process of grading, almost complete. But if you have some missing assignments that you haven't done, make sure to go back and do that. Okay, now we're going to use this as the opportunity to review. Oh, Grant wants to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, and also, not only can you complete any missing work, but we just gave you an extra credit opportunity.
Yes.
10 points for every time you comment on one of the Gav TV news stories. I believe there were 10, at least 10, and there will be another one next week and the week, and maybe even one after that. Oh, that might be too late. I'm also going to give you another one. My Humanities 3 class, Introduction to Cinema. We voted today they wanted to have an extra credit Christmas movie. They really pushed for Elf. So, wait, no, it wasn't Elf. I'm sorry. It was Home Alone. Sorry. They asked for Home Alone on Wednesday in SS 214. I'll give you 50 points if you want to join us. See another class. So you can still boost your grade. If you're worried about your grades, we've just given you probably 150 points of opportunity to get an extra credit, and you can turn anything that you've missed. So you can still make sure you get any grade you want. So now let's talk about the final exam.
All right.
I've got the final exam open right now, and I'll just say that there are 50 questions,
yes.
and they're worth 4 points each. So that's 200 points. 20% of your grade will be based on this test. They're all multiple choice, so I guess in some ways that's easy. And Tim and I are going to review them. We're going to cover the subject matter. We might even give you a couple of the questions or make it really obvious. So it will pay to watch this. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start off right here saying that there's a question that asks what is my favorite NBA team? And
that's easy. I know this.
Yeah, and I'm going to be watching them play
just kidding.
the Portland Trailblazers in about 43 minutes.
So you love the Portland Trailblazers, is what you're saying.
Portland. They're the enemy. I'm a huge Warrior fan, so
yeah.
I mean, there's one of your, what did I say, 50 questions?
That's one.
Yeah, and the other one is, another question is, what is Tim's favorite reality TV show? And I'll just tell you, for years, Tim had a podcast. And it was all about surviving this one reality TV show.
Where they were on an island, and Jeff Probst, the host, would make them try to survive the elements. And the person who won wins the title of sole survivor. So if you could figure out what possibly, this is The Bachelor, of course. I love The Bachelor. Can't wait to see the Golden Bachelor pick who he's gonna pick.
That happened already.
That show.
Come on.
The Golden Bachelor's done. Do
Yeah.
you watch the Bachelor, don't you? Right? Oh, Alex was guessing I like the Jersey Shore, which is, yeah, excellent. The Situation and Snooki, they were the sole survivor. No, I like the TV show Survivor, which is on season 45 right now. And to be honest, not a very good season right now. But that's all right.
It's still
Uh,
gonna say, what is your favorite
that's
show?
my answer. We'll call it on in average over 45 seasons. I love about 40 of them. Let's say that. Okay. So it's my favorite reality show. All right.
We have
Uh,
Amanda joining us. Welcome, Amanda. We just started. We've been talking and about the class and extra credit possibilities and things like that, but we're now just starting the test. Real quickly, there's 50 questions, multiple choice, 4 points each, so it's worth 200 points or 20% of your final grade. And we've just given two answers.
yep.
To,
I recommend Amanda for you. The people watching at home are like, keep on going. But Amanda, you should probably check out the beginning of the video because we do offer over 100 points of extra credits
150.
opportunity. Yeah, I said over.
Yeah.
Yeah, over 150. All right.
No, 150. Was that?
150 completely?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's what we just gave the 100 for the Gav TV and 50 for
Yeah.
Home Alone. So
I need to go back and rewatch it because I think I was trying to look up something while you were saying that, Grant. So there you go. All right.
okay, yeah, let's
Do
go
we want to
through.
just go in order or how do
Yeah,
you want to
except
do
that
it, Grant?
even
Yeah,
when
this
we're
is the thing to
looking
know
at it,
about the final. Yep.
the
Hmm.
final exam is the questions are randomized and the answers are randomized. And so even though you and I are looking at them, Tim, when we trying to
Yes.
review, it's going to be different. um, so one of the things I'm going to say is that there are several questions about the filmmaking terms. We have a handout on the page about the filmmaking terms, and I'm going to just yell out a few things. 3-point lighting and 180-degree rule. You need to know what those are. They're the first two questions on my test that I'm looking at right now. So, Alex or Amanda, do you have any questions about either of those concepts?
Yeah. What are the 3-point lightings? Aren't there three different types of light in 3-point lighting, Grant?
Types of light. There are maybe
Well, three different
directions.
light.
Yeah. There's
Sure. Yeah. Well,
the
okay.
key
Sorry. Yeah.
the
They're
key light, which is the
yes.
main
There you
light,
go.
and it's not straight on, it's on one side or the other. And that's the most intense light. The opposite on the opposite side is the fill light. There is a very intense light, and then on the opposite side, there's less light. So that right now, if I were to have a key light, I don't. You have a key light, Tim. If you look,
I have a key light. Yes.
yeah, he has a light that's
So
on
if you
coming
look at
from.
if you look at yeah. So this side of my face, right, is more lit, is brighter than this side where I actually have shadow, right? And so I'm actually just being lit by my screen. I'm looking on the left-hand side, which is dark, where I'm looking and seeing granted, seeing Zoom, but I actually have the white. I have like our iLearn up. And so if I take it away, you can see, oh, look, my key light goes away. Um, but the key light is basically the strongest light that fills one side, and then or it's the strongest key light that lights the subject, which can cause other areas of the subject's face to be less lit. And sometimes we need to add light because I with the zoom camera it's probably hard for me to do, but if I wanted to have my face even, what type of light would I use to fill in this light?
It's called a fill light. Yep.
Oh, wow, Phil. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fill light. And let's see. Okay, so there we go. Look, I'm not filling. I'm more evenly lit here, right? Um, the fill light, there's the key light, the fill light, and then there's one more light which helps light the back. And I don't really have this. The backlight, I don't really have anything in the background
I
that's giving
do.
me a backlight. You're more, yeah, you're more backlit than anybody.
Yeah. So
Um, and
backlit
that,
is it tends to be above and behind, and it causes like a hairline or a shadow line. You can actually you can see that my head is creating a shadow on my chest because I have a hard light right above me. But that's it. Key light, fill light, and backlight. That's 3-point lighting.
Yeah.
The other question we talked about is 180-degree rule, and it's a rule that is explained, and we'll just let you know that is one of the questions that you're going to need to know about.
Yeah.
There's a
180-degree rule, right?
Yep.
It's
I don't know if we
yeah,
need to give all the answers.
Okay,
There's
Grant.
a
All right,
link on. We have a YouTube link on it on the page. There's a definition. If you guys ask us,
Some years we like cheat and give all the answers. So
yeah,
look up the 180-degree rule. You should know this by now. Just Google it if you don't know it. Okay, it's really
and
easy.
we have a link to it. The
Yeah,
definition.
yeah. We have their term sheet too, right? By the way, if you take this final and you totally blow it and you're like, oh, I got like 1%, you can actually take it a second time. So don't be dismayed. You can always take it again. But remember, all the answers are randomized and all the questions are randomized. So if you try to like memorize A, B, B, C, D, B, C, A, it's not that.
Our
term sheet is up there, isn't it? Or is I thinking of a different class?
I will double check and make sure it's under week 1 if it's not already there. I don't want to do it right now, Alex, but I will. If it's not there, I will put it there. But it's supposed to be there.
I don't see it in week 1, Grant. I think it was in our film production class too.
I will put it there because it has
it has a lot of the stuff. It's worth looking at.
Yeah, and some of the questions come from it. So let's see some other questions that are on there. What is the most watched telecast of all time? That's a question. By the way, what sporting event, what live sporting event every year is gets the most views?
The curling finals, right?
During the Olympics. Oh, that's every 4 years. That can't be.
Whoops.
Yes, Alex, you got it. Super Bowl.
Football.
It's so big that advertisers spend the most money for commercials. It's often between $6, $7, $8 million per minute to have a commercial. And not even people who are non-football fans, they tune in to watch the halftime show. And we used to have a required textbook, and there was a whole chapter about Nipplegate. I don't know if you remember that, but Janet Jackson,
Justin Timberlake. Let's not forget his involvement in it.
Yeah. So, but it was
that guy.
A big deal and a scandal. They actually changed rules on television because of that. But Super Bowl is the answer. There's a question about which is not one of the options for the documentaries we watch this semester, and we list them, and one of them is not on there.
I'll give you a hint. The one that's not isn't even a documentary.
Yeah.
So if you follow, it's not a trick question. Just pick the one that's not a documentary. So, which one of these were not one of the PSAs we showed in class?
Yeah. So
again, let's look at the list of the PSAs.
Yeah, 17 or 18.
Yeah.
So you just be kind of aware of them. There's subject matters, and one is not that. Then there are going to be some things. There will be several questions about 3-camera comedies, like, for example, one of them is what is not considered to be a 3-camera comedy. What was the show that introduced the 4th camera? And I'll tell you right now, it has to do. I won't tell you the show, but it has to do with.
You have a lot of explaining to do, right?
What?
Oh wait, sorry, never mind. I was thinking of the first 3-camera comedy.
Oh yeah, the first. That's a question. The very first 3-camera comedy.
Yeah, wah.
Yeah.
Vita Vita Benjamin, right? Lucy, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Robin Williams is what sitcom was he in? Can you remember that? Grant and I do because we were live when it was airing. Um, uh,
You were
Most of our
alive.
students do that. Oh, I definitely saw it on Nick at Night. I was it the 80s? Come on, I was born in the 80s,
Was it
or
the
is it 70s? Is it?
maybe it was
I was.
early 80s.
I feel like that. I feel like. Well, I definitely watched it on Nick at Night. So
He got his start because of Happy Days.
that was yeah. They introduced him on Happy Days.
Yeah.
Fonzie, he and Fonzie fought each other.
Yeah.
Um, Mork for Mork, of course.
Yeah.
And all right, my kids are coming home. Uh,
Then
let's see.
then um oh um we're going to move on to single camera comedies, and we'll say which is not a single camera comedies. We'll talk about like what is not true about single camera comedies. Three camera comedies, they're shot in front of a live studio audience. They often have thing that well, there's a set, and on one side is the audience and the cameras. So if someone talks to that fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall, what does that mean?
Well, it's kind of like what we're doing right now, right, Grant? Like in
Yeah.
Zoom, all we do is break the fourth wall, is because
So
we're looking into the camera, right?
yeah, if
If
I'm
yeah,
talking, I don't know what I'm look. This is
yeah,
the
I'm.
way.
This works for me too, Grant. So
Yeah.
who
So
knows
if
if
I'm
they're
I'm
one? We could
facing
be
Tim,
opposite. Yeah,
if I'm talking to Tim and we're acting, and then all of a sudden we turn to the camera and say, "What is he doing?" or something. That's
yeah,
breaking the fourth wall. If you think of
yeah.
movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Deadpool, they break the fourth wall. So that's actually a question on the test. So
Yeah.
um, let's see.
What's what's a talking headshot, Grant?
I my favorite show that has talking headshots is The Office. So I love it.
Oh yeah,
Um, it's basically being interviewed. So can you?
like Modern Family.
Yeah, Modern Family is another example. I heard 30 or 30 Rock had them, but what's the Parks and Registration,
Parks and Rec,
Parks
right?
and Rec.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, The Office is one of my favorite.
yeah, that's a good one.
Um,
I'm passionate about animation, so we talk about some of the animated stuff that we did. Like, what was the first traditional animated film? I showed it to you. It was black and white. There was almost no sound. Um, what was the first one with sync sound? Maybe someone whistling would be notable. Famous Mouse, perhaps.
and by the way,
Um,
he's reading these questions right off. So these are the questions you will be asked on the final.
Yeah, yeah, I'm yeah, give them a shot, Grant. Like, yeah. Yeah, what's the first animated show on television, right? Like we talked about it. We saw a cigarette commercial that they did because it was a prime time uh uh it was a
That's
prime
not.
time adult show. Oh, I'm talking about the adult prime time one. I switched to the
Prime
wrong
time. Yeah,
question.
yeah. Okay.
That's definitely a question also. What was the first animated prime time? But what's the first animated TV show as well? Those are both questions. What's the first stop motion show? We definitely watched the green guy do some stuff. And then, yeah, then you have to just tell me which one's not animated. So I'll give you a list of animated movies. Hopefully you can tell what the cartoon or stop motion and what's not a and what has actual live people. And of course, you're all young students who are learning and maybe don't know of every single TV show like Grant and I do because we've at least sampled a little bit of everything. Of course, students always educate us on like YouTube content creators or TikToks, right? Like that's where our weak spots are. But uh, we watched uh, we watched a little bit of a show that they used to animate it the week before it was on the air, and a documentary called 6 Days to Air: The Making of a Blank. episode. So you tell me what that is. You can figure that out. What's the longest running animated show? Still running today, in fact.
Yeah, and it started. I'm going to say it. The Simpsons started not as a standalone television show, but as a bit on what was the name of her show?
They were like animated interstitials between skits on the Tracy Ullman
Tracy
show,
Ullman.
which was
Yes.
a comedy show, and you would know Tracy Ullman's a comedian who I'm trying to think of a big role that she would be in. I know she's definitely in um Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I can't think. I feel like there's a huge one I'm not thinking of her as. But she's had shows, and you look her up, you might know her.
After animation, we got into dramas, and we talked about serialized dramas first. There were some kind of key elements to it. Serialized dramas usually have a character arc or story arc over the whole season. They also would use things like recapping and cliffhangers, and they kind of didn't were episodic stories were a standalone element. We watched an episode of Black Mirror, which I think that might even be a question on the test, but that they followed essentially you can't come in on the eighth show on the third season and know what's going on. You got to kind of start with the beginning.
Yeah, and you think about the serialized or episodic, those ones, for sure. You have to, you have, or like Bones or Law and Order. You can just show up and watch an episode. Think of like anytime I go to a hotel room, I watch something that's episodic because I know I don't have to like start from the beginning unless like then I log into my Netflix and I watch a show like Breaking Bad where you have to start at the beginning. You can't just tune in. You can tune in, but you'd be confused is the thing. So
yeah. Then episodic they could stand alone. They're often like procedurals, lawyers, doctors, police officers, and the characters don't mean as much as what is happening. And if you think about it, like LA Law was a show that when I was a kid that was really popular, and every day it would take a story that was in the newspapers, and then they would and so
Law and Order is ripped from the new headlines is their slogan. My favorite procedural, of course, is Dr. House MD, where he's a doctor and he's also Sherlock Holmes solving crazy cases, right? So something to think about that. We just have a question about like what type of presentations did you have to do? What was not an overall category. We got to reality television, which we talked about, and we talked about what was the earliest reality show that caught unsuspecting people doing funny things. We watched Survivor. What is it called when the subjects are interviewed on a reality show? I confess, you should know what that is by this point. How many seasons has Survivor had? Yes, 45 now. Then we talked about live television, and we talked about different types of live television, right? There's like news broadcasts, live sports, and even there's some live comedy shows, talk shows, etc.
Saturday Night Live, and
live from New York.
Yeah. Although that isn't that live to tape, and
it's well actually the SNL is live on the East Coast. As West Coasters, we get the taped version 3 hours later, but they are taped with a delay just in case. So we see it about
even live sporting events now are taped. And there's a 6-second or 8-second delay
just in case Nipplegate happens. Yeah. They're worried about Nipplegate again. Yeah, we talk about how our news is evolved over the years. Um, uh, which show does not use humor to give the news? And then we list ones.
And
You kind of think of like,
I'm
what
gonna
are the
update.
funny news shows?
I'm gonna update that question a little bit.
Okay, I wasn't going to read them, but yeah. Um, what's the main shot that sets the scene of a show's location? Um,
That's
yeah,
going to be on that
how?
list of terms. So,
Yeah,
and they're sitting here with us. Tell them, Tim.
yeah. Well, you want to establish your scenes. We're going to use the establishing shot, which like just think of the West Wing. It's a show about the what happens in the White House. What do you think the very first shot of every single episode of the West Wing is? It's an exterior shot of the White House, and that establishes to our audience this next we're going to cut inside, but this is inside the White House, right? Or you see the outside of a doctor's office, or you think of like that 70s show or the Friends. We always see the outside of their building, even though the whole show is outside of a building in New York, even though Friends took place completely in a set in LA. So yeah, establishing shot. Who's the host of Survivor? Well, that's Jeff Probst. Everybody knows that.
By the way,
Ooh,
one of the
this one
questions.
you should update, Grant.
Which one?
36.
I know. I have that on my list.
Okay.
There's another question. Earlier I was talking about Robin Williams making a guest appearance on Happy Days, and we talked about Happy Days. I was a little kid when that came out, and I loved the show. And all of a sudden, there was an episode that was just terrible, awful, terrible. And it was when Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz, they went to California, and he was dared to, while water skiing, to jump a shark in a cage. And the show had been number one in its time spot for it was several years, 3, 4 years. And suddenly, after that terrible episode, the show jumped or fell down to 11, and then the next week, and then 13th the next week, and then it was not even in the top 30 by the end of the season. They think they'd made one more season, and they never hit 30 again, and it was canceled. And it all started with one bad show, jumping the shark. So that term is used in television quite often. Oh, the show jumped the shark, meaning it suddenly has gone bad. I can think of a show, Game of Thrones, or I was totally into that, and then all of a sudden it got bad, and I had to.
She rid the dragon, or whatever, whatever the jump the shark moment in that show was. To me, it was she jumped the Starbucks cup, which was in the back. They accidentally left the Starbucks cup in an episode. Uh, so yeah, that last season. Oof. Um, let's see, how many more we got, Grant?
I think we've basically covered everything.
Yeah, just know what we watched. That's a good thing to go through the modules and just look at all the things if you're worried about it. Knowing basically it's just cluing you in on what we reviewed over the semester. And yeah, the last two questions are what are our favorites, and we did that. So great. Any questions from Alex or Amanda?
Yeah, we've been talking for so long. Yeah, what
I
questions?
know we thought we were going to do this in like 15 minutes, and we've gone 40 minutes so far. So, any questions from you? And while we're doing that, we just want to say here again at the end, you can take the final twice.
It opens at
two's the limit.
7 o'clock on Monday and closes at midnight on Friday. So don't think of the weekend. On Friday at midnight it closes.
And of course, if it was me, I would take the test. Having reviewed this, I would then, like, if I just goofed up a bunch and got like, I don't know, 160 out of 200 possible points, I would go ahead and go and comment, like, and subscribe to our Gav TV channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@GavTV. We'll put that link in the script as an announcement. Hey, I'll say something like, check this out for no apparent reason. But if you like, comment, and then also make sure you message us that you did this, because we'll go through and count how many that you did. Because for me, let's say I got 160 out of 200, and maybe I want full credit. I just go ahead and, well, I'm going to go and like and comment on all 10 to get all 100 points to make up for maybe something else I didn't do. So that's an opportunity to get more extra credit, as well as any other extra credit opportunities. Grant, we talked about, showing up for this. Amanda and Alex get the extra credit. So make sure to take advantage if you're worried about your grade at all. And finally, most importantly, semester's over. Hope you enjoyed us. I'll take another one of our classes. We are going to have
And
a
I will,
bunch
in the
of classes
announcements,
next
I will list
semester.
all the classes that Tim and I will teach in the spring. So you can see the options.
Yeah. And if you, at the very least, enjoyed this and want to appreciate further film, Grant teaches a bunch of film appreciation classes where you basically go to class and watch a movie. And then, Grant lectures and you learn all about the movies. That's great. If you want to learn how to make a movie, take one of our production classes. We have several production classes coming up, including if you are a video editor or want to learn how to be a video editor, we'll be teaching Premiere Pro and Final Cut this semester. Or if you're an aspiring screenwriter, screenwriting used to be one of the '1 hobbies in America. Not anymore, but it used to be. Everybody has a movie in them, and how that hobby got replaced by, Grant?
What?
Freaking social media. Everybody who's a content creator now, they all are videoing themselves instead of writing movies. So yeah, but it's about writing content. It's not about writing movies. It's about writing a screenplay, which is.
But by the way, Alex, we were talking at the beginning about the screenwriting class. I don't think any other programs I've ever heard of around the country teach screenplay writing. And if your screenplay is good enough, we'll produce it. So if you write a screenplay early enough in the semester, we can make that movie in the production class. And if you finish near the end of the semester, we might turn around and use it as one of the screenplays in next fall semester.
So. And what's great about our program versus other programs in even the JC and community college versus something like San Jose State or a different film program, is we are a very practical program, which means you get actual hands-on opportunity to touch a camera, to be on a film set, to be able to experience different elements that you might be interested in. So if you do have a script or you have an idea, you can pitch us, and if we like it, we could help you write it. We could work with you. Many of our students who are in our production class this semester will be directing next semester because they have taken it, they've had the experience. But we had a student this semester, their first semester, they came to us with a script and they directed their script like 4 or 5, 6 weeks into the semester because they had an idea, they wrote a script, we liked the script, and we filmed, and it's going to most likely be in the film festival next semester, depending whether or not it gets edited. Filmmaking is a long process, but
the film showcase, by the way, is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So anyways, before we end, Alex and Man, do you have any questions about the class or the final or anything? So no, that's a good question, Amanda. Tim and I want for you to have as much freedom as you can. So any subject, any genre, any length is fine. There are no requirements. if you get stuck for an idea, you don't have something in mind. Tim and I used to have a requirement that we would require all students to do. It's the film without words. We love that project a lot. So if you want to do it, we gave you several examples of scenes from movies or short films that don't have any dialogue. It's not that they don't have sound; they have music and oftentimes sound effects, but there's no characters talking to each other or to themselves. There are no words, so that's why we call it film without words. So you can do anything you want, documentary, spoofing a show or a movie or something like that, some kind of reality TV, anything you like. Or you can do the possible topic that we introduced, the film without words project. So did I answer your question?
We get all types of films. We've done examples. We've had people film their pets, film their parents. So you could do
Why would you film your
anything.
parents?
Well, I mean, some of us use the actors that are available. Grant filmed his parents this semester, so that's why he said that.
They made it an appearance. They were willing to be the butt of a joke. So
Yeah, literally.
okay, so
sorry guys, I promise I'll make it super short. I just had a question about
no need to.
I just had a question about the final exam. So say that, because I know there's 2 attempts. So say that I take it one time and I score 180, but I want to get as close as 200 as possible. Is there a negative reset in case the second attempt goes in a way worse than the first one?
Yes. So that is a great question. If you take the test and do worse the second time, that's going to be your final score.
Okay.
So you can't revert to your first go round. So
in other words, if you get 196, you might want to keep it.
Yeah. Definitely, if you get into that range where just doing the extra credit will make up the points, I would stick with that grade, okay? Like,
yeah, that sounds sensible.
B's and A's are a pretty smart call. It just depends. Like, think about the extra credit you could use to make up for assignments maybe you don't have. But Alex,
right.
Looking at your grades, I think you hit all the assignments. So some students not necessarily have the same experience. So maybe they're making up 100 points somewhere else rather than that per se, if you know what I mean.
I gotcha. Thank you.
Good question.
Yep. Great question. Anything else? Are we going to wrap it up?
Okay. Well, thank you all thank you both for joining us. Those who are watching us, thank you for getting to the end. Please contact us if you have any questions about the final assignment, the final exam, any of the past assignments, anything at all. Tim and I will respond right away. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
I put the link in the chat for our YouTube channel for